Hello, everyone, and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Chidima Okoli, and a few years ago, I was opportune to win the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. So I practically studied for free at the University of Exeter in the UK. Now, over the years, I have provided scholarship guidance and also reviewed essays for applicants. So in this video, I'm going to be talking from my personal experience with essays and also the experience I've gotten reviewing essays for applicants who went on to get the Commonwealth Scholarship. Now, if you need more information about my scholarship services, I would leave the link to my website in the description box below. So let's dive right into the purpose of this video. I received a lot of questions from LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, all my social media platforms. I got questions concerning the essays like, Chidima, how will I write the essay? What does this question mean? Do you have any extra tips? So I decided to do a video where I would break it down. We are going to go through each of the questions for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship essays, and I would give practical examples and tips on how to answer that question. Now, at the end of this video, I would also be giving extra winning tips, so make sure you stay till the end. Now, one thing you need to know about Commonwealth is that your essays play a significant role in determining if you will be selected for the scholarship. There wouldn't be any second round interviews or things like that. So they are going to base their judgment a lot on the potential of your essays. So you really need to get it right, okay? So once you create your account on the application portal, you will be asked to write a series of essays. Now, the first part of the essay is what they call development impact statement. So this essay is in 4 parts, and we are going to start with the first question. Now, the first question, how your proposed study relates to development issues at global, national, and local level. Now, for this question, for you to answer it, you need to know what Commonwealth is passionate about. And Commonwealth is passionate about sustainable development in developing countries. So they are equally looking for individuals who are also going to be passionate about making an impact or a change in their home country. Now, it's important that your essays reflect this passion. For this question, a good place for you to start is by carrying out your research online. You need to know the contemporary problems in your sector, both at the global and national level. Now, at the global level, you can start with the Sustainable Development Goals. SDGs are universal goals, which every country uses as a blueprint to develop and achieve a better future for all their citizens. So when you start from there, you have a bigger picture of all the goals that different countries are working towards. For the SDGs, there are 17 of them. So you will be able to find the ones that are specific to the problem you want to solve in your country. I'm going to leave the link of the SDGs in the description box below, so you can browse through it and see the various SDGs and be able to know the ones that relate to your proposed study. After talking about the SDGs at the global level, you need to come down to the national level, which is your home country. Now, at this point, you will discuss specific issues in your sector that are hindering your country from achieving the SDGs by 2030. You can see the way we connected global issue and national issue. And I use the word specific issues here because you need to be specific. It's not enough to just say you want to improve health and well-being. You need to mention the area you want to focus on. You want to focus on maternal mortality or poor vaccine coverage in northern Nigeria. It all depends on your field. Just find specific issues and focus on them. Now, when you state these issues, it's not enough to just state it, okay? Back it up with statistics. When you back it up with statistics from credible sources, it shows that what you're saying is genuine. Now, I usually tell people, see this essay as a project proposal. You know, when you need to influence your potential sponsors to fund your project. So when you add that credibility to the issues you stated by using data from credible sources or summary reports, it shows that, okay, oh, this issue is actually a problem and we need to solve it. Now, when I say credible sources, examples could be National Bureau of Statistics. You could get data from International Monetary Fund's latest economic assessment. You could get data from CDC, WHO. It all depends on your field. After talking about the specific issues in your country, then you move on to talk about the local level. You bring it down to your own experience. Now, local level or community level, it's more like, what have you experienced firsthand? It could be at your place of work. It could be your personal experience growing up. Present this problem as a matter of urgency. You know, for SDGs, the goals need to be achieved by 2030. Now, you stating that this and this is lacking, the mortality rates have increased from this to that, backing up your data with credible sources and also citing it in your essay. When you state this, it shows them that, oh, this really needs to be done right now. Like, put that sense of urgency that your country is really lagging behind and there is an urgent need to bridge that gap. So for this 1B, you need to connect what you have said in 1A to 1B, okay? That is why I put it there. You need to be coherent. For example, if you were talking about health systems in 1A, you cannot come to 1B and start talking about security and governance. You know, there is no link. So for question 2, they want to know how you intend to apply your new skills and qualification when you return home. To answer it, you need to let them know what area are you going to work in. Are you going to work in finance or health or agriculture? Do you want to work in the public sector? Are you going to work in the private sector? Are you going to work with an NGO? The next thing to talk about is your action steps. And I gave a few examples there, but for specific example I would give, I would be relating to the health sector, probably because I work in the health sector. So that's the easiest example that comes to my head. For example, knowledge sharing workshops. Don't just say knowledge sharing workshops. What exactly would this workshop be about? So if it's someone in the health sector, depending on the project you're working on, I can say something about, oh, knowledge sharing workshops to train public health professionals on how to develop a comprehensive monitoring and evaluation framework for vaccine coverage. Remember in number 1, I said something about poor vaccine coverage in northern area. This could be one of my action steps for number 2, where I am having that training workshops on how to develop that monitoring and evaluation framework to be able to track the vaccines used in that area. Or if you're in the agricultural sector, it could be training farmers on how to use new technology and tools to improve sustainability or improve food production. One very important point for this number 2 is for you to identify an ongoing relevant project. It shows the person reading your essay that you've done your background check. You know what exactly is on ground, so you are going to build on it. For question 3A, they want to know the outcomes that you aim to achieve when you get back home. And one method to help you here is SMART goals. Outcomes simply means what do you want to achieve? What are your goals? And for you to have goals that are really on point, you need to make sure they are SMART. So specific, they are measurable, they are achievable, they are relevant, and they're time bound. Okay. For example, don't just say for one of your outcomes, there will be improved health and well-being in Nigeria. That's a very generic answer. Rather, you can say something like, there will be a 45% reduction in maternal death rates in Lagos after 2 years. So you can see with this example of mine, it's specific, it's measurable. You know, I said 45%, specific in terms of I related it to the issue I want to solve. Let's say if one of the problems I was focusing on is maternal death rates, this outcome is very relevant to it, then it's achievable and it's time bound. I said within 2 years. So use this SMART acronym as a guide to craft your own outcomes. For question 3B, the time frame for your implementation. So they want to know specifically how long would it take you to implement your change plan or for you to implement your project. Okay, for this question, you can split your time frame into 3. Short term could be anything less than 6 months, 2 to 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. It depends on your plan. Medium term could be 1 to 2 years. Long term could be 3 to 5 years. Question 3C, who the beneficiaries will be. For this question, they are simply asking who are those that will be impacted by your project? What is your target group? For example, is it women? Is it geriatrics, that's old people? Is it children under 5? Is it farmers? Is it the youth population? Is it the LGBTQ population? You can have a combination of categories as far as it is specific to your plan. For number 4, how the impact of your work could be best measured. They want you to tell them how they will track your progress to ensure that you're achieving your goals and objectives. So you need to develop indicators for yourself. You need to talk about the method of review and the method of measurement. How often are you going to do this? For example, for someone in agriculture, depending on your project again, one of your indicators can be a 30% increase in productivity of cash crops after a farming season. So if you're not getting up to that 30%, then it means there's something wrong. Then you yourself, you now start evaluating and seeing how you can mitigate, whatever that is making you not to meet your target. For someone in health sector, you could say a 45% increase in women registered for antenatal at healthcare centers in the northern region within a 2-year period. So this is for someone, maybe someone who is trying to solve the issue around maternal deaths, now you're looking at the percentage of people registered for antenatal. Now, after giving these indicators, you need to let them know your method of review. And for example, would you distribute and analyze surveys, questionnaires? Will you conduct interviews with focus groups? Would you collate data, do a systematic review? It depends on your project. It depends on your field. All those things would shape the method you're going to use for your review. So those first 4 questions are what they call the development impact statement. So we move on to the other essays they would require you to write. So for question 5, they want you to provide a short outline of your proposed study or research. Now for this question, I suggest you use the study outline tips provided by CSC. So when you're answering this question, you will find those tips under this question on their website. They will ask you for the title of your course, your key modules. They would ask you for preliminary discussions and techniques in your course, your intended dissertation topic. And why they are doing this is they want you to go and peruse the website of the course you want to study. So you're going to get a lot of this information on the course website, but please don't copy and paste. Just paraphrase in simple words that someone who is not in your field will be able to understand. For number 6, they want you to provide a detailed plan. For this question as well, use the tips provided by CSC. They want to know why you have chosen that course. They want to know why that university, why the UK. Now, this number 6 is an opportunity for you to buttress more on your answers in number 5. Okay, for number 5, they were asking you for your dissertation topic. In number 6, you can go further and discuss in details. Talk about the problems, your dissertation, like what's your dissertation about? For example, if at the beginning I mentioned that the issues I want to solve is bordered around maternal death, okay? I cannot come here and be saying the dissertation I want to do will be around or will be about geriatrics, that's old people. Like, why are you doing the dissertation for elderly ones while the problem you really want to solve is maternal death? Like, you want to reduce maternal death rate. So you need to make it flow. For this same question, where they've asked you, why did you choose that university? Don't just say you chose that university because it is highly ranked. One of the reasons I chose University of Exeter is because I wanted to study environment and human health, okay? And the European Center for Environment and Human Health is based at the University of Exeter. So I was so eager to get into that school and be able to learn from them. I also identified professors who had done similar research in my area of interest. So you need to look for something that is specific to that university and to that course. So for number 7, I like to advise applicants to have an all-round perspective, okay? Have that all-round perspective on learning and development. Talk about your academic focus in terms of what skills do you expect to gain from this scholarship. Then you move on to talk about building professional networks and participating in CSC workshops. Now, Commonwealth organizes workshops for scholars in the UK. So when you're in the UK, you will get emails from them to participate in different workshops. So mention that you're going to participate in these workshops and you see that as an avenue to build professional relationships and connections. You can also mention maximizing leadership opportunities in your school. I mean, I know someone who contested for the position of international student rep in his school, and he was selected. That platform can give you an opportunity to enhance your leadership skills, your learning agility, your communication, your influential skills. Like, there's so much you can gain from this scholarship. You can also add volunteering, volunteering opportunities. Personally, I volunteered during my spare time, and I did that in a health organization. And you can do that to gain new skills so that you see how they do things there and have a plan to implement it when you come back to your home country. You can also mention traveling and sightseeing within the UK. Talk about some places that you look forward to visiting. Mention them. For questions 8 and 9, we have talked a bit about this in questions 2 and 3. So I wouldn't dwell much on it. Just use the tips in questions 2 and 3 in addition to the tips in 8 and 9 and draft your essays. For this question 9, they want you to write a personal statement. Now, this is where you have that opportunity to fully express yourself and let CSC know about your passion, your determination, and what makes you the right candidate. For CSC to invest in your education, they need to know your track record. They need to see what you've done before so they can be able to visualize, oh, okay, this person is already doing this or has already done this. That means there's potential to do more. They invest in people that have that potential, and you need to be able to blow your trumpet for them to see it. Because there's no interview, okay? So this is the chance that you have to actually tell them all the things that you've done. For this question, they want to know about any unique experience that left a lasting impression and made you take on your career path. Or it could be experiences from your background that have inspired you to tackle the issues and the problems you want to solve. They also want to know, what have you been able to do so far? Do you have any awards? Do you have a blog? Do you have websites, social media pages to show proof of what you've been able to do? So just mention it and let them know. Like I said in the essay, let this personal statement flow from one paragraph to the other. It should be well structured. If you're talking about your academic experience, don't talk about it halfway, then jump to community experience, maybe something you experience at work, then you go back again to academic, then you don't finish academic or you jump again. Be well structured. If you're going to talk about your academic experience, finish that one before you move to the next. Just have a plan for the essay so that the reader can easily connect to what you're saying. For this question, they also want you to talk about your financial constraints. For financial constraints, please be realistic. For this part, you can mention part-time jobs that you have done or that you do to supplement your living costs. Maybe during your school days, you were doing some side hustle in quotes as per makeup artist, or you were a photographer, or, mention those things, because we do all those things to be able to supplement our living costs. You can also mention your income value in USD, just to show that, oh, this is the amount I earn in Naira, but in USD, this is the value. They would now see that, oh, okay, this is actually not much. If you've had previous scholarships or sponsorships from your relatives, you can also mention it. Questions 10 and 11 is about your volunteer and leadership experience. For these two questions, one thing that will guide you is the STAR method. See this as if you're answering an interview question. When they say, tell us about the time when you did this or did that, it's the same thing here. So have the STAR method at the back of your mind. For the situation, talk about when was this? Let them know, when did this happen? Where? Then you move on to talk about what was the problem and what actions or steps did you take to solve the problem or contribute to the solution. For the part about leadership, don't be saying, we did this, we did that, we did this one. What did you do? Like, try to focus it a bit on you. Then you can also talk about the part where you collaborated with an organization or something. But let them see your active participation, both in the voluntary activities and in the places where you demonstrated leadership. For the results, they want to know the outcome, and you need to also back this up with data. How many people benefited from the programs that you did? 50 people, 100 people, 150 people. Sometimes some people say, Chidima, I don't think I volunteered anywhere. Just sit down and reflect. There must be times you had done something in school that nobody paid you for it. There must be times you had done something in church. You just used your extra time for a meaningful program or for something you were passionate about. Even during NYSC, for me, one of the volunteering activities I put then was my NYSC CDS, because at that time, my CDS, I've forgotten the main name of it, but we went to some local areas in Lagos You know, for those that know Lagos, went to Makoko for health presentations, awareness. So I put that as part of my volunteer activities. So that brings us to the end of the essays. There are 11 of them, and you can rewatch this video time and time again to give you that idea of how to draft your own essays. And I have extra winning tips here, as I promised. Take it one step at a time, okay? Try not to feel overwhelmed. Even if you're taking it one step at a time, walk round the clock. There is no time, honestly, because I always encourage people to submit multiple applications. On the application portal, when you submit the first application, that application goes to the university that you selected. So after that one, start another application and submit to multiple universities that are offering your course of interest. But make sure you've applied for admissions in these universities and you're following up on them to get those admissions while you're writing your essays. The second one is research your field of interest. Go on websites that are peculiar to your field. Read articles, read what other people have done and try to build on it. It will give you that knowledge to be able to talk and expand on the topic in your essay. The next tip is to have a clear plan and structure for your essay. Before you start drafting your essays, read through the questions thoroughly and figure out what will be in your paragraph 1, what will be in your paragraph 2, what is going to be in your paragraph 3. Let it flow that way and it will guide you to be able to draft your essay. Don't just start typing without drafting, okay, this is going to be my introduction. I will flow into this, then flow into that. When you actually have that skeletal framework, it helps. And stick to the word limits, because if you don't stick to the word limits, it cuts off your essay from where their own word limit is. This fourth tip, the reader should not need a dictionary to read your essay. This is very important, please. Very important. Write in simple words. You know the way you talk formally, that should be the way you write. You know, when someone reads your essay and it has a lot of complex English and big words, it doesn't flow. So you need to use simple terms. The next tip, correct spelling, tenses, acronyms, punctuation marks. This might sound very simple, but it is one of the errors I've seen in some essays. An application that can help you is Grammarly. Install Grammarly on your Word, that's your Microsoft Word, and it will help you to check for your spellings, your tenses. For acronyms, know the right ways to write acronyms. Know when to use capital letters. You don't use capital letters anyhow. Punctuation marks, make sure one sentence is not like 7 lines. You know, the reader is looking for the full stop or the comma. So try to have concise sentences and not something that is so long and, you know, it loses its meaning when it's too long. Then the final tip is essay review. It's very important that you contact someone that can review your essay. I always suggest you send to someone who has gotten a scholarship before, or someone who is used to reviewing essays, or someone who is knowledgeable about scholarship essays. They always know what to look out for, and they can help make suggestions and let you know parts of your essays that are not convincing enough, or let you know parts of your essays that need more clarity. Okay. So this is my first YouTube video. So I would like to hear from everyone. I would like to hear from you in the comments section. What did you like about this presentation? Was it helpful? Was it clear enough? Do you want me to do more videos like this? Oh yeah, please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up as well, so that anyone who is looking for a similar content can easily find it. I really want everyone who needs that guidance to be able to find this video and share with someone that you think would need it as well. Now, if you have questions, please put them in the comment section as well, and I would answer as soon as I can. So that brings me to the end of this presentation, and I wish you the very best in your applications.